already. This is going to be exciting.
And the guy restarts up and go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
Welcome to the high-octane drama of the GT3 series as we drop the green flag on race 12 of 15 at the treacherous twists and turns of the Charlotte Roval, where precision meets peril on this hybrid road oval beast. With 9 different winners shaking up the standings so far this season, the field has been unpredictable as ever, but all eyes are locked on the unflappable points leader, whose rock-solid consistency has built a fortress at the top. Now a hungry pack of challengers revs up to dethrone him in this pivotal push towards a championship crown where one mistake could rewrite the entire script. And we are back for the Goat Locker Racing MK Fire Designs Sports Car Series presented by Zat Graphics, right here on V-Speed, your #1 source for online racing coverage. And of course, tonight's race is being brought to you by MK Fire Designs, a design company that specializes in custom wooden flags. Also brought to you by Zat Graphics. We can put your design on almost anything. And Save 22, fighting first responder and veteran suicide. I'm Ken Huber. I got Corey Smith alongside me in the booth here. Tim Jones on production, and cameras are being provided by Dougie Beard. So welcome back, Corey. Welcome to being under the lights here at Charlotte. And I think Corey's got a little bit of a technical difficulty right now, but as you can see, the sun is setting here at Charlotte. We got qualifying underway as we speak. Let's talk about the track, about what they're going to be up against tonight. Nestled in the heart of NASCAR country is the Charlotte Roval at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Is a thrilling hybrid beast that fuses high-speed thunder of a traditional oval with the serpentine twists of a road course, creating a 2.28-mile 17 turn where drivers must master blistering straightaways and heart-pounding chicanes and elevation changes that test every ounce of skill and strategy. From the iconic front stretch curbing to the infamous hairpin at turn 7 and the extended straight out of turn 5, this reconfigured layout demands precision, braking, and aggressive passing, an unflinching nerve, turning every lap into high-stakes chess match where one misstep on the field can be very unforgiving. So that's what these guys are going to be dealing with here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Let's take a look at our race analysis.
Yeah, Ken, we're going to be doing 1 hour of racing here. Unlimited tire sets. I don't know if anybody's going to be taking any. You do get a fast repair just in case, and you're going to start off with half fuel. So look for about 25 minutes of gas, and then the strategy is going to depend. I say as soon as you get to about the 12-minute mark, you're going to see takers on pit road.
Yeah, maybe even sooner than that, just to get out of traffic here. We got 14 guys going at it. And speaking, I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, we got one guy that's sitting in the top of the points right now. Jeremy Gardner has just lit up the season. Basically, I think if he wins here tonight, he is going to lock up this championship here tonight with 3 races to go. That's due to the fact that we got a couple of drop weeks, and Jeremy Gardner's just been so consistent. I just don't think there's anybody out there that can beat him.
Well, last week was his worst week, and it was the worst because it was the first that he finished off the podium. So the podium streak is over, but I think the championship is nearly a lock.
Yeah, pretty much. I would say so. By starting tonight's race, it's hard to say. Tyler Justice could win all the next few races. You can see he's in second, but he's going to need some powerful luck from Jeremy Gardner. And being that we only have 14 cars here tonight, that's only if Jeremy Gardner finishes dead last, he's still going to be in the top 15. I think he's pretty much going to be a lock for this championship.
Yeah, a few other names shuffling around in the point standings. Some of the people that joined the season a little bit later have finally climbing their way up the top 20. And then Jamie Lipke went from the right side of the screen on the standings now into the top 10 at 9th with a chance to gain a couple spots tonight.
Yeah, you never know what she can get done. She's been really consistent as well. Not quite as consistent as, say, Tyler Justice or Jeremy Gardner, but she's been running strong all season, and that's why she finds herself as high in the points as she is. Anyway, we're about 1 minute away from qualifying here. While we got a moment, why don't we talk about our Warrior Spotlight?
Yeah, let's talk about Mike Swartzen. Mike Swartzen making his debut tonight in the MK Fire Designs GT3 series. He's excited to be here, and we're excited to have him. He's our 13th SimBrig recipient and our very first responder. He is from Indiana and served in the United States Air Force in the fire service. During his time, he deployed to Korea and Pakistan in support of our great nation. Once he returned home, he decided to continue his career in the fire services. He's been a firefighter at the Indianapolis Airport Fire Department for the last 20 years. He was introduced to racing by his father, who used to take him and his brother to Road America for IndyCar when they were young. And now Mike goes back. He also enjoys IMSA and F1. So we're proud to welcome him to the Goat Locker Racing family. And right now, as we are winding down and qualifying, he's currently sitting at the back of the grid, but I think for now he's just happy to be here.
Yeah, first race of the season. I can't wait till you ride along with him there, Corey, and see how he gets done tonight. I think he's dead last on the field, but he's getting started, and it should be a lot of fun to watch him out here working tonight. Anyway, we've wrapped up qualifying, and now it's time for our Jam Printing and Promotion Pull Award, and that is going to go to Derek Folk. He's grabbed that pole position for tonight. On his outside, he finds our potential champion, Jeremy Gardner. Starting in the third position will be Wesley Burke, with Chad Gross on his outside. Logan Threlkeld will be starting on the fifth position on the inside with Tyler Justice on his outside. Oz Exelu will start in seventh with Matt Lass starting P8. Jamie Lipke will be starting in the ninth position on the inside with Bobby Germain. I haven't seen that name in a few races. Used to be quite a prolific road racer, and he's in this race tonight on the outside in the 10th position. Jason Kristen will start in 11th, with James Goshen starting in 12th. Damian Castro will start in the 13th position, and last on the field, Mike Swartzen, our SimRig recipient. So there you have it. That's our 14-car field that's going to go around this place here tonight.
Yeah, impressive run by Derek Folk. He definitely pulled a rabbit out of the hat in the last couple minutes of qualifying and bested Jeremy Gardner by less than 0.03 of a second. So basically the same lap time. So we'll have to see what it looks like going down into turn one, the first lap or two, and then the pit strategy might decide this race.
Yeah, I think you're right in that regard. I got a story to tell you there, Corey. I was doing some practice like I normally do before the race, and this new configured track, I wasn't used to it. So I went through turn 5, which is, if you remember, is an uphill right-hander, and then it takes you around in NASCAR 1 and 2. Well, that turn doesn't exist anymore, and I just pulled a full header right into the wall my first lap of this race. So we'll see. Hopefully, I think most of these guys got this track figured out. I did not realize that it had been reconfigured, but it's still a lot of fun. So I thought they might have messed up the track, but I think we're going to see some good action out here tonight.
Yeah, well, the NASCAR Cup Series made a change to their layout, and this is what they race, and we've seemed to have followed suit. It's a great layout. It's a little bit different than the racing was. But you get that hairpin getting back onto the racetrack, and man, it provides a lot of excitement and a good passing zone if you know how to work those brakes.
And that's exactly what I was thinking. At first, I was like, I don't like this setup. But when I realized I seen that heavy braking zone going into the hairpin there, that it might be a great passing opportunity that we didn't have before. Although, on the other hand, With the old turns, you used to get up on the hill and you'd have a lot of cars spin out. So you'd kind of get free passes sometimes as long as it wasn't you.
Well, you'll still come up the top of the hill at turn 6 while you're in a turn. So still plenty of opportunities to make those mistakes at high speed.
Always plenty of opportunities at any road course to make mistakes, and that's what these guys are looking to avoid. You can see they're trying to get these tires warmed up. Still got the new tire model, so it takes a couple, 2-3 laps, especially in this cold weather. We're looking at about 69-degree track temperature here under the lights. Easy for me to say, man, I'm having struggles here with my. Well, it's no surprise that I can't talk. I'm pretty good at that.
Well, the good news is for most of you, despite the evilness of our series director, Tim Jones, there's no rain in the forecast tonight. So if you complain about the weather and you're not here, then I don't want to hear it, because we're getting ready to go, and this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, it's a good thing that those settings can't be changed on the fly, because you never know what our series director might pull out. But luckily, once the session starts, you can't go in there and change it now. So these guys are going to have to live with what they got. And then, like you said, no rain in the forecast. They're coming around NASCAR 3 and 4 here. Going to go through the final chicane, and we're going to cut them loose. That flag comes out right about the time they hit that chicane.
It takes a lot of patience. Fortunately, the smaller field should make it a little bit easier, but I think that a lot of people really want to get 1 or 2 extra positions right off the get-go. So I don't know if they'll be able to stay single file, double file as they get through there or not.
Well, being that it is a smaller field, there might be some people out there looking for maybe their first win. We've had a lot of separate winners, but the pace truck is off. I expect when they make the right-hander here, the flag is going to come out. We're green flag, and Oz Exelu is going to lead them. Jeremy Gardner getting out behind, going to go single file there, and we got cars all getting single file right away, and that's what that chicane does.
Yeah, Derek Folk's going to be cleaned into one, already ahead by half a second. Looks like everybody except Bobby Germain got through turn 1 clean. So Bobby Germain having a rough start, but plenty of time to make up whatever happened there.
I must have had Oz Exelu on my brain, but yeah, Derek Folk leading this thing with Jeremy Gardner right behind him. Watching that Mustang power, that's been the story of the season. These guys running, we're looking at Logan Threlkeld right now in a Porsche. So, but the top 3 out of 4 guys are in Mustangs, and then we got Acura Wesley Burke there in third. We haven't seen Wesley Burke. I don't remember seeing Wesley Burke all season long, and we're looking at his Acura right now. So I think this might be his first race with the GT3 series this season.
Well, either way, he's in third place right now and looking good as they go into the backstretch chicane, the bus stop, for the first time.
Yeah, I've covered Wesley Burke. He's got a couple of wins in the Xfinity series that we run on Sunday nights. So a lot of fun watching him on Sunday nights. And now he's battling up here with these guys for the lead. Looking at Wesley Burke, we got a 4-car battle for the lead right now going into the chicane. Oh, Gardner he does get into the leader there. Derek Folk going to get by. No harm, no foul, but a little soft touch there allowed Jeremy Gardner to get by. Now look at Logan Threlkeld taking it 3 wide.
Well, you got to wonder, did Gardner make a race-winning move on lap 1? We'll have to see how it goes, but that's a power move that he made, and he wants to get away from Derek Folk as fast as possible.
I think he was content running back there in second, but then when everybody jammed up, when we had a 5-car battle for the lead, I think Gardner said, well, it's go time. And you can see now Derek Folk's putting pressure on Gardner. But now, Burke goes out wide there, trying to outbrake that Mustang in front of him. That's Chad Gross, and he might get passed here by Logan Threlkeld.
Logan Threlkeld trying to make a move to get up into 4th. Let's see who's got what he gets. Now they're a single file going into the backstretch chicane. Carries a lot of speed, and he blows the turn. Oh, he's going to have to give up the spot and more. That's going to cost him big.
The Bucky's Porsche blows it. He's going to get a time penalty for that. He's going to lose a bunch of positions, so he's going to have to give up that time on the track here, but he's back in 5th now, and he'll have to gather that thing back up and try to race his way back. But almost a killer moment there for Logan, but as we go back up front here with Jeremy Gardner and Derek Folk still going at it.
Gardner stretched it out to 4/10. Derek Folk probably content to just sit right behind him right now and let Gardner make a mistake. use up his stuff. But if Gardner is smart, he can maintain that lead and the position. We'll see what he does as time rolls on here.
Yeah, going to take a look back here. We had an incident on the track with Bobby Germain. We'll see exactly what happened. Going through the last chicane here onto the front stretch. See Bobby back there in that blue and black car, that Audi. Going into turn one, just loses the rear end and backs it into the wall. So tough break there for Bobby.
Looked like he was trying to maintain the outside with the faster line and just a little too hard into the turn there. Probably hit the brakes as he was too far into the turn and lost the back end.
Well, Jeremy is in a situation I don't think he's been in. He's got two teammates behind him, Derek Folk, Chad Gross. Both these guys very fast. All three Mustangs up front right now. Wesley Burke there, the guy on the in fourth, currently running the Acura. But these Mustangs have been powerful all season. Seen a lot of drivers switch these cars. We're riding on board with Derek Folk right now as he goes through 1 and 2. And then as they head downhill into 3, you're going to want to get down to about second gear and try to get the car to rotate. He's on the inside of Gardner, using a little bit of brake bias there to try to get the car to rotate through that corner. Here's a quick turn 5. You used to have to slow way up here, but now you go pretty fast down through. It's straightened out this part of the track, and you come down into the hairpin. Now see if he outbrakes him.
Well, I thought Derek Folk might be content to sit for a while, but it doesn't appear so. But that aggressiveness has cost him, and now he's fallen back off, now 7/10 back of the first place Jeremy Gardner.
Yeah, I might have almost tried to give Jeremy Gardner a little kiss back there and repay the favor back there on lap 1 of this race, and he's already back up to the back of Jeremy Gardner. So he's definitely a quick car, and he definitely wants by. I just want to bring up something, Corey, and because I kind of screwed it up. We had our Warrior Spotlight at the top of the broadcast, but Mike Swartzen currently running in 12th position. There he is. He's up 2 spots on the night. His first race in the Road Course Series. We're very glad to have him on board with us here at Goat Locker Racing and using that sim rig very nicely at this point.
Yeah, you know, most Americans are pretty NASCAR centric, but it's kind of nice, a little breath of fresh air to have somebody who's really into IMSA. You know, obviously this place is a natural fit for him, but we'll have to see how he fits in with the rest of the week here at GLR.
So while we were watching Swartzen there, it looks like our second place guy had a little bit of an off track there, is falling back off Jeremy Gardner again after he caught him. So close incident there as we're watching a couple cars go through the hairpin, but this guy's spreading back out to single file here, headed into the first chicane. And you know something else, Corey, that I really like about the new configuration of the Roval here, these curbs aren't quite as brutal as they used to be, and you can use a lot of curb in these GT3 cars now. Yeah,
you would hit one of those and then you didn't know which way your car was gonna head after that. So a little more forgiving, but they can still make you pay if you hit them wrong.
I remember being almost sent over the fence on those curbs there, that first chicane. The curbs were so powerful, but kind of toned them down. Now this is a really racy track. I kind of miss the old Charlotte Roval before all the NASCAR got involved with it. Kind of a classic track, but it's actually got its own unique character now, and it's become quite popular on the circuit.
The other thing that the infield now. Oh, go ahead, please.
No, the other thing I was going to say about this track is what makes it cool is, you know, for such a being at a small location, you know, Charlotte's not a small track, but for having a road course, it's kind of, you know, inside the oval. Other than Daytona, you know, it's got its own little bit of technical driving that you have to master, and just makes this track a lot of fun.
Well, elsewhere on track, Matt Lass is taking a black flag. We'll have to look into why exactly what happened, but he's going to have to come take his drive-through penalty. He's currently in 8th place, but he's definitely going to lose spots after this.
Yeah, tough break for him. He's definitely going to move back. He'll lose some time. Well, I guess he won't be able to make that pit stop, but looks like we're riding on with Chad Gross right now, right behind Jeremy Gardner. Chad Gross currently in that second position. after that slip up from Derek Folk. So the two teammates are still trying to wrestle Jeremy Gardner out of that first place position.
Long way to go, 51 minutes, but the fuel window is going to open up pretty soon. So if you don't plan on taking tires, you can pretty much pit here in the next couple of minutes and be good to the end. Might be a bit early for some of these guys, but like you said earlier, if you're in traffic you don't want to be in, you can always use it as a strategy call.
Yeah, most definitely. I believe they might be in the window right now. Looks like Exelu might have had an incident on the track. Oz Exelu.
Yep.
Not sure what
leaders
happened.
just went by him. He was on the apron right after the hairpin. Unfortunately for Oz, he's already taken his fast repairs, so trying to stay out of trouble as we watch him work turns 6 towards 7. Let's see what happened. And back in the gas a little too soon? What say you?
Yeah, I think that's about right. I think he called it right. So tough break for Oz in the 911. I guess he's got the right phone number if he gets hurt out there in that car, but trying to make something. You can see the sparks coming off that thing going into the final chicane. We're back up here with second and third. The two teammates, Chad Gross, Derek Folk just behind him. Two matching Mustangs there, black and blue. Still trying to chase down our leader.
I'm not sure if they're working together or against each other, but Jeremy Gardner has worked his lead out to a second now, so we'll have to see if they can team up and kind of, put the competitive edge behind them to kind of work together here. As you look from the cockpit of the Derek Folk machine, number 410, working their way onto the back stretch. They'd be wise to get in line behind each other and try to catch Jeremy Gardner.
Yeah, you can see Chad Gross get really loose in that Mustang just ahead there, and it's definitely going to slow him down, trying to stay ahead of his teammate, and that's what our leader wants to see. He wants to see second and third, just fight it out, and that way the leader can kind of run away with this thing. It's kind of what Jeremy Gardner would like to see. But then as we start to get into lap traffic, which Gardner is, he's at least a few laps away, but even though we got a small field, he is going to be coming up on some lap traffic, and that could always be a factor in these races.
Well, elsewhere on track, Logan Threlkeld spun it, but he's no worse for the wear, currently running in 6th. You're on board with him, working his way towards the front stretch chicane, cutting right, cutting left, and across the start-finish line, a little brush with the wall. Heading down towards turn 1. He's currently, he's currently 7 seconds behind Tyler Justice, currently in 5th. Back to Jamie Lipke, a couple seconds behind Logan. Started 9th, up to 7th. Pretty clean run so far. I think her strategy is just going to be to ride this thing out, keep it clean, and see who else can make a mistake.
Yeah, she's been really consistent this season, and that's why she's as high as she is in the points. And if she can keep that out, she'll have a solid finish solid season as we look at Jason Kristen here. Man, I thought talking was hard, but man, I'm struggling here tonight. But Jason Kristen's not struggling in that Corvette. And you can see he's currently running in the 8th position. Going around through the hairpin, you got to be careful. Obviously getting on the throttle here, especially as the tires get hot. And doing a fine job there.
Jason Kristen had some ups and downs throughout the season, but has made his way up to 16th in points. Chasing down Matt Lass, only 21 points behind Matt Lass. So with Lass having some issues down a lap already, this is a chance for him to work his way up in the point standings.
Well, while we were talking about these guys, we had a change for second place anyway. Derek Folk got around Chad Gross again. So looked like Chad Gross slipped up there and allowed Derek Folk to get back by. So after the mistake that Folk made, looks like Chad did the same thing there. And that was coming out of the last chicane there.
Looked like it was team orders. They are going to work together and hopefully a little cooperation to get them up to Jeremy Gardner, who's now stretched his lead out to 1.3 seconds.
Yeah, he's starting to put a 10th on him every lap. And then he doesn't have that blue and black Mustang in his rearview mirror as close. He can kind of take a breath of fresh air there and just focus on hitting his marks, getting through these curbs and try to stretch out that lead and continue on with perhaps a championship here tonight.
Well, the pride of High Point, North Carolina, making a statement here. Made a power move on lap 1, and he's led ever since in dominating fashion as you go see him across the start-finish line to complete his 9th lap, excuse me. 46 minutes to go. When will they pit for fuel? They've got about 10 more minutes to decide.
Well, as long as you're not out in traffic, the ideal thing would be just to stay out until you kind of get bottled up. But small field here tonight, so I don't think anybody's going to get too bottled up. Boy, but that start with the 5 cars all battling for the lead. I think, that's tearing Derek Folk after Jeremy Gardner got into the rear quarter panel there on lap 1, that if Derek Folk can ever get back to him, the favor might be repaid as they go through the hairpin here. He is closed the gap. Derek Folk has closed the gap on our leader by about 4/10 since we've been talking about this race, and is continuing to close as I go down the backstretch here into the first chicane.
Well, looking at timing and scoring, Jeremy Gardner and Derek Folk have about 2.5 to 3 laps until they hit James Goshen and Mike Swartzen in lap traffic. So we'll have to see if they want to get around those guys or if they want to pit and then contend with it later.
As we head into the last chicane here, that's going to allow Derek Folk right up on the back of Jeremy Gardner, our leader. As they go into 1 here, looking for a spot, looking for a weakness there for that leader. Derek Folk now I mentioned that wasn't really putting those headlights in the rearview mirror of Jeremy Gardner, but now he is. So putting some pressure on that driver and seeing if he can force a mistake.
Well, we talked about lap traffic, but unfortunately, they're going to get around Goshen right now, and they got around Swartzen at the tri-oval because Swartzen was around. So that kind of throws the pit window sort of conversation about strategy, because now it's clear sailing all the way out to 20 seconds to Matt Last, the 13th place car.
Yeah, when they went by Goshen, that lap car, the headlights were missing on that Corvette, and so Goshen having some serious problems out there. I think that was a Corvette. Yeah, it was. Had to get that thing there. You can see there is no front end on that car. He's out there driving in the dark, but thankfully that Charlotte has lights where you can actually see the track, but that car is definitely off the pace.
Well, he'll be taking a trip to Columbus, Ohio, because he's going to have to go to Cruising Classics so they get a brand new machine after that one. Goshen does have a meatball, so he's going to have to pit here sooner than later and soak up that fast repair because that car is toast.
Well, speaking of meatballs, our leader up there, still under pressure, Derek Folk back there trying to take a look there on the inside of 1, nothing doing. They'll come down here through 2, really close, so they're going over to 3, seeing if he can swing around to the inside. That line, though, for that Mustang just isn't going to work like that. Is going to end up wide, so he lost a little bit of time there. On that turn, you kind of got to swing out to the outside, otherwise you can't get the entry that you need to get the speed off the corner.
Great battle for the lead here with Chad Gross kind of just waiting for somebody to make a mistake in front of him. Folks going to look to the inside, can't get the run. Going to tuck in behind Gardner as they come around turn NASCAR 2 towards 10-11 in the backstretch chicane.
Yeah, Folk got a little loose there on the exit, slipped back a couple car lengths, so he's still right there. Way better on the brakes there. Almost gets into the back of Gardner going through chicane 1. Gardner gets it clear, able to pull. It looks like Derek Folk is just way better on the brakes, and Gardner is way better on exit. So even though they're in the same car, I think what you're seeing is 2 different driving styles. Headed back into 1 here, and that gap has maintained right now. It looks like our leader is trying to stretch that out again. Let's see, this is the corner I'm talking about. It looks like Derek Folk takes a way shallower line, and then when you exit this corner, you just don't have the speed on the straight that you need, and I usually like to swing out a little bit wider there, giving the car a little bit better room.
Great battle, multiple lines here on this track, like you said. It's just kind of a personal preference thing, and it's interesting to see where each driver is better on track. And right now, I just don't think anybody's got an answer for Big Daddy Jeremy Gardner.
Well, until Derek Folk folk can get back to Jeremy Gardner, let's talk about one of our sponsors, Glove Station. At Glove Station, they are committed to providing quality gloves and protective gear for a wide range of your daily activities and jobs. From tinkering on home do-it-yourself projects to working in industrial environments and everything in between, they've got you covered. With endless amounts of safety products on the market, they want to make it effortless for you to find the right protection for your needs. And that is Glove Station, and that battle is still going on, and he's got those gloves pulled up tight, and I'm speaking of Derek Folk. Got the gloves up tight, trying to find a way around our leader.
Yeah, well, elsewhere on track, you saw Mike Swartzen during the ad read. He was turned around with a lot of damage on his car. He's towing and have to use that fast repair. So already about a third of the fields had to use their fast repairs. You thought with a little bit of a more wide open track that, this wouldn't be an issue, but it's pretty narrow here. And if you mess up, it's not very forgiving. As we take a look at Wesley Burke, fallen 2 spots since the start of the race, but currently running top 5, about a second behind Tyler Justice, who is now in 4th. Justice is up 2 spots from the start of the race, so having a nice run right off the last step of the podium here.
Yeah, Tyler being one of the most consistent drivers other than Gardner out on this field tonight. Wesley Burke had a slip up a few laps ago that allowed Wesley to slip back to 5th position, but Tyler Justice strong all season, 2nd place in points, and he really needed Gardner just not to show up the rest of the week to even have a shot at this thing, and that's not the case with Gardner leading this thing. Pretty much if things fall the way they are, Jeremy's going to lock up this thing, but Tyler Justice, you got to hand it to him. Solid season.
Yeah,
looking back at the battle for
go ahead. I was going to say that 500-point lead is pretty much insurmountable at this point, especially all Gardner has to do is just kind of show up. So, not sure anything. I think it's all about pride and single race wins at this point.
Well, this battle that we were just talking about here, Wesley Burke now starting to put some pressure on Tyler Justice. Like I said, Tyler Justice was able to get by Wesley Burke after a mistake, and now he finds himself under pressure from that very same car. And as they go through the hairpin, these 2 guys have been getting off this corner really nice. The Mustangs seem to be a little squirrely getting off the corner, but these 2 cars seem rock solid on the exit of the hairpin here.
Yeah, Wesley Burke, the only Acura in the field, making it work right now, making it look good as they're racing down the backstretch towards the bus stop. They'll close right towards the back of him. Let's see how the exit looks. Like Tyler Justice just a little better getting off. He's going to stretch it out to 4/10, but here comes Burke as they come out of NASCAR 4 down towards the front stretch chicane. A little bit squirrely, probably a little too heavy and late on the brakes. Not going to catch him here as they race down towards turn 1.
Little battle of the mid-engine cars here. The battle for 4th position here. Either one of these guys would love to have a podium, and the way the guys are racing up front, that might very well happen. Our 2 leaders are still up there battling it out as we just go to them right now. Derek Folk still hasn't found a way around Jeremy Gardner. Goes over the top of that little pyramid, that sausage curve there at the hairpin, headed down through NASCAR 1 and 2. And still no change in this environment. We'll see. I have a feeling that these guys will probably run nose to tail until the pit stop and see who's going to win the battle off pit load. As soon as I say that, Derek Folk gets into the back of Jeremy Gardner. And Jeremy Gardner able to hold on to that, but Derek Folk wasn't able to make that pass.
This battle has been intense since the green flag dropped. It has delivered, like we talked about it on the top of the show, a little bit lighter participation than other events going on, but this series just delivers week after week.
Oh, a battle back for Wesley Burke, back here for that 4th and 5th position. Wesley Burke all over the back of Tyler Justice. I thought he was going to get the position there, couldn't get it done. Going into 1 here, going to take a peek on the inside, not quite close enough. This guy's got to be careful down here. The car gets a little light down through the inside. This right-hander as they head down into 3.
We have had our first retirement of the night. Logan Threlkeld has parked it and manually disconnected, so we'll have to figure out exactly what happened there, but it looks like he is done for the night, currently in 12th. As long as James Goshen and Mike Swartzen can keep it on the track, they will pass him. Let's see what happened to Logan. Working the infield, and it just looked like the Mike Swartzen machine was parked in the middle of the track. He knew it was going to be there, and he tried to dodge it. And unfortunately for him, nothing he could do.
Yeah, Logan been struggling all evening. We were watching him in practice and didn't look on top of his car tonight. So I think Logan kind of showed up. We got the new configuration here tonight. I don't think Logan was that familiar with it. Logan usually a strong driver. He's right up there with Tyler Justice and whatnot. Very consistent driver, but towards the second half of the season, just we haven't seen him as much. And then when we have, he's had some struggles. Watching Wesley Burke, it looks like, headed down pit lane, one of our first takers to get some fuel at least, maybe some tires. We'll have to watch this stop, see what he does, see if he can beat Tyler Justice. He was behind when the pit cycle comes around. Maybe trying that undercut here at the earlier pit stop. No tires going on that machine, so it's going to be a fuel-only stop.
Yeah, Tyler Justice working his way onto the backstretch right now. We'll have to see if he pits this time or not, and we'll have to see where they shake out when all is said and done.
I think these guys can go about another 10 minutes before they'll absolutely have to pit. So it'll be hard to say whether he'll come in this lap or maybe just stay out. Now that he isn't under pressure, it might be a good time to start running some fast laps without pressure and maybe hang on to that position.
Does look like we have the 215 of Damian Castro off track in the bus stop. Not sure what happened to him, but it looks like he took maybe a little bit of damage. We'll have to see if he can get back around. He still has his faster pair. A little too much curb.
Yeah, that McLaren didn't like that curbing there that I'm a big fan of now, but it looks like he's struggling. I was just watching him go through the last chicane here. A little bit of a struggle getting that car. Maybe those tires are a bit hot now after that altercation with that curb back there on the backstretch.
As we're checking out Wesley Burke after the pit stop, cycled back to 7th. He'll gain some of those spots back as he is the last car on the lead lap currently, but he is the only car on the lead lap who has pitted for fuel, so he should be good to the finish, and we'll have to see where he shakes out as we're back towards the lead here, watching Derek Folk and Jeremy Gardner battle for first. Just continues to rage on. Folks closed it down to 0.2 of a second. He's only a couple car lengths back. He's one good move away from being in the lead, but Gardner is defending well as they're approaching some lap traffic ahead. It's Matt Lass in the 198 coming up on him. Matt Lass already one lap down. This would put him 2 laps down when they catch him.
Yeah, I feel like maybe Derek Folk is looking forward to that pit stop because this might be the only opportunity to pass unless he does a bump and run, which is kind of risky. But we've seen Jeremy Gardner do that to him at the start of this race, so it's hard to say. As you said, Corey, they're coming up on some lap traffic now. You got Matt Lass just ahead of him there. Matt Lass, of course, is not having the night he wanted to have, but currently running that 10th position as they head through the hairpin here. And you got the cameras on Matt Lass here, but Jeremy Gardner coming up quick with second place of Derek Folk right behind him.
Derek Folk in the infield section actually put the 2 left tires on the grass. It cost him a couple tenths. He'll have to make those up. Let's see if he can do it here on the backstretch chicane. Looks like he's right about there. He does close it up, so nice move. You know, it seems like he's got the speed. He just can't get around Big Daddy Jeremy Gardner.
Now here's the situation. That's exactly what I was going to say. Gardner headed to pit lane. As I was going to say, if Gardner was smart, he'd head to pit lane right now because it looked like Matt Lass was going to be a bit of a roadblock there. Might have slowed up Derek Folk now. Derek Folk just got around that lap car and Matt Lass. We see Jeremy Gardner on pit lane, so we'll see how this all shakes out. I think this might be a race-winning move here for Gardner, as Derek Folk did get woed up by Matt Lass just a hair. Might have cost him a half a second or so.
Well, we'll have to see if that pays dividends as Gardner's in the pits right now taking his fuel. No way he's taking tires here with the lead. If he saved his stuff, he should be just fine. Derek Folk currently working his way towards the hairpin, getting onto the backstretch, or excuse me, getting into NASCAR 1 and 2. Clear traffic ahead for him for the next 7 seconds, so he's clear for the next couple laps if he wants to run, but I think it's a question of fuel and how much does he have left.
Yeah, it was a very slow stop for Gardner, 26 seconds. That's well below what I thought he would need. I was thinking it should be about a 14 to 16 second pit stop for fuel only. When you get into that range, that's a tire stop, and I didn't see the car go up, and I don't see any tires on it, but that was a lengthy stop.
Well, Oz Exelou had a 25-second stop. Castro's fuel stop was 21 seconds, but Burks was 28, and Kristen was 34. So we'll have to see. As Derek Folks on pit road, let's see where he shakes out. It's the battle for the win on pit road.
Yeah, I think we'll see how quick this pit stop is, but I still think 26 seconds is way too slow for here at Charlotte, so I was kind of surprised by that. He's got his teammate coming up. It looks like that Mustang is up on the jack, so might be getting some tires. This might be another long pit stop. So the car's already down, so he took 2 tires, whether it's fronts, rears, or lefts or rights, but he only took 2 tires there.
And here comes Gardner out of NASCAR Turn of 4 towards the chicane. It's going to be a race off pit road. Does he have enough to get there? It looks like it's going to be close, but it looks like Folk's going to get away, and it's not even close. Folk is going to maintain the lead. He was 3 seconds faster on the pit stop, so he's now got a 6-second lead on Jeremy Gardner. Wow.
Well, that's what I was going to say. His pit stop was 6 seconds faster overall. He was 2 seconds faster on the entry and exit of pit lane, and then he was 4 seconds faster on the stop itself. So that's why he got that 6 seconds on Jeremy Gardner. So impressive pit stop there for Derek Folk.
Jeremy Gardner's so good on pit road normally. I wonder what happened there, if it was a question of selecting the right settings or just execution in general, but normally a master on pit road, but he's got a mountain to climb now as he's 6.5 seconds behind Derek Folk.
Yeah, and Chad Gross also pitted. Chad Gross is ahead of him as well. So Chad Gross, a very similar stop. Well, Chad was actually about 3 seconds slower than his teammate. But both of them, Chad Gross being 3 seconds faster than Gardner as well. So Jeremy Gardner kind of gave up all those positions on pit lane.
Everybody's made their pit service now. Taking a look at the 317 of Chad Gross as he crosses the start-finish line. About 4 seconds behind Jeremy Gardner and closing. See if he can get into that second spot.
Yeah, my mistake there on where Gardner was on position there. While Chad Gross might have been 3 seconds faster on pit lane, he did not get by Gardner. I messed up on my timing and scoring here as we're watching Gardner go through the hairpin. And this is one section where I've watched Derek Folk just go over, just eat that curb on the inside, but seems to have lots of speed doing that. But Gardner's going to have his work cut out for him being as far back as he is.
Well, I don't know if it's been cold tires on the Folk machine, but Jeremy Gardner's already chewed through a half second of Derek Folk's lead, so it's down to under 6. We'll have to see if he can do it. As Wesley Burke runs into trouble in the top 5, and now he looks like he's towing and he might be done. He has disconnected. His race is over. We'll have to see what happened to him.
Kind of wanted to see how that battle was going to play out between him and Tyler Justice with the pit stops, and we didn't get to see that with the incident that he had. But tough break for Wesley now on pit lane here as we're watching our leader start to navigate some more lap traffic. He's got Jason Kristen up in that Corvette just ahead of him there, about a second ahead. Jeremy Gardner still closing in, still about 5 seconds back off of our leader. And you can see that time starting to dwindle down, and it's just hard to say. I don't know what happened to Gardner on that pit stop, but he's trying to do his best to get back up there.
Yeah, nice run for Kristen today. Up, just outside the top 5. Having a great night, staying out of the way, but staying clean. Love that for him. Is like we talked about him earlier, working his way towards the top 15 in points. This is a great way to do it. He's got Matt Last right in front of him in points, and Matt Last is back in 9th. So good run for him, and he'll be right there.
Yeah, I think Focus now got some heat in those tires, and that gap is starting to maintain. As we're looking at another battle here, potentially with Matt Lass here, currently running in the 9th position. Matt Lass, just looking here to see, he's got Damian Castro just ahead of him in 8th, and he's going to get on the inside here on the exit, it looks like, but just doesn't have the run. Going to get up there and try to sniff some of that toe. You can see that more McLaren out there of Damian Castro running strong. Both these guys are a lap down, but still battling for position. So we still have battles all over the track.
Well, that's the one good thing about Goat Locker Racing's MK Fire Design Sports Car Series is that, yeah, we got the aliens up front, but everybody else in the field at their skill levels, they seem to produce good battles all over the racetrack for a whole hour.
Still watching this battle here between those two drivers. Damian Castro trying to hold on to that position. It looks like Matt Lass just can't quite get there. Matt Lass running that Mustang, trying to chase down that McLaren as they go into 3 and 4. Very early apexing here, which is you're going to be a little bit slower, and that's what happens. That early apex
and they're
forces you
both in the grass.
Yeah, they're both in the grass. That early apex causes you to put too much wheel into it. You just the nose pushes off the track.
Still a great battle here. Only a couple of tenths. They get right there, bumper to bumper, going through the hairpin. Now working their way through NASCAR 2, down the backstretch towards the bus stop. Castro is going to stretch it out just a little bit over Lass, but I think Lass will be there right as they slow down, and he is.
Yeah, it's the best battle on the track right now, going through the first chicane here, headed NASCAR 3 and 4. Go into this last chicane, a very big braking zone. We've seen that Derek Folk could really hit this braking zone really well here. We'll see if Matt Lass can close the gap here a little bit. No, these guys are pretty much running in each other's tire tracks right now. Neither one gaining or losing on the other. Back up front with our leader, Derek Folk. Finally got around Jeremy Gardner during pit stop. He hasn't looked back. Got a nice sizable lead of 6 seconds. Now he's got those tires warmed up. He has opened up a little bit of a gap. So Gardner falling back in 2nd spot after what I consider a really slow pit stop. So he's going to need Derek Folk to make a mistake. We've got 23 minutes left in this race, and he's going to definitely need Derek to slip up, do something dumb, maybe get into a lap car if he wants to get another win on the season.
Well, our top 3 all running pretty similar laps, down to less than 1/10 of a second difference the last lap. So maybe not a lot of change. You're just looking for a mistake out of somebody at this point.
And another guy out there running quietly, Tyler Justice. Another one of those solid drivers here at Goat Locker Racing in the 4th position after that incident with Wesley Burke. Kind of knocked him out of the race. Tyler Justice sitting comfortably in 4th place. Jamie Lipke behind him. She's running in 5th, so top 5 for Jamie Lipke as well. So she's having a solid night. Maybe this might be one of the first top 5s of the season for her.
Well, we talked about it again at the top of the show. We said a few excused absences for the endurance race going on tonight, but it's an opportunity for people that may not normally run towards the podium to maybe sneak up there and grab a lot of points. As we're looking at the 8th place car of Matt Lass, as he was trying to get around somebody, I can't tell quite who it was, Castro, and Castro ended up in the grass for it.
Yeah, it finally got around, or maybe Damian's been following that Mustang for a while. got slowed up after he got in the grass there. They were also passing a lap car there, I believe, and so it kind of couldn't tell exactly what was going on. Riding along right now with Jeremy Gardner here as he's trying to run down our leader of Derek Folk after that slow pit stop. Has made up about 2/10 since the last time we looked at him. Exiting the hairpin here, headed down the backstretch to the first chicane. Like I'd mentioned, he has a lot of work to do, but you know, he's a fast driver, and Derek could have a slip up with his Mustang.
Well, taking a look at our YouTube video chat here, a big shout out to Samuel Yosef, who's about 8 hours into his endurance race. He wishes he could be here tonight. Well, we're tired of your excuses, but we missed you anyway. We hope you're here next week. Doesn't have the opportunity to close in on Zach Minnis, who is currently 46 points behind in the standings. So, you know, but Zach's not here either, so I don't think the gap's going to change too much. So,
no, and with the drop weeks,
Jeremy Gardner and Tyler Justice at the top, expanding their lead.
Yeah, with the way this goes with drop weeks, and that's another thing, you can't always tell where everything's at. We're currently looking at Tyler Justice in that beautiful blue McLaren, blue and orange McLaren, running in fourth. He is, you know, he's about 11 seconds behind Chad Gross, the next car for position, trying to get on the podium. He will need one of those Mustangs up front to make a mistake to get on the podium, but yeah, he does a solid week in, week out. Just one of those drivers already here, like Gardner. Drokeld, I used to call him one of those drivers, but he's been struggling. Eddie Smith, another one of those consistent drivers, not here tonight. So a bunch of really consistent drivers missing tonight's race, but even though they're not here, this is still a lot of fun for these guys, and it's less battling, that they have less traffic at a pretty restrictive track like Charlotte.
Just to catch you up on scoring here, we have 4 cars currently out of the race. We have 5 that have taken their faster pairs. The highest of those is Oz Exelu, who used that faster pair after, I think, the first lap, but he's worked his way back up to 7th, having a nice run. That's where he started, so Oz Exelu doing that work. He's 30 seconds behind 6th place. I don't know if he's going to have enough time to make up that much time. He was slower than Kristen last lap, so he's going to need a little help, but he's recovering fairly nicely.
Yeah, doing okay. He's almost one of those guys hit the top of the one lap down group. That you never know. By the time we get to the end of this thing, we got 20 minutes to go or so. When we get to the end of this, these guys might all converge at some point. But a great job, you know, getting that car repaired, taking his quick repair, and just staying out there and staying in it.
Speaking of staying in it, Bobby Germain hanging out in 10th place, 3 laps down and a lap behind the guy in front of him, but still out there making it work. He started 10th. He's still 10th, but he's the last car. Well, no, I take that back. He's the second to last car still in the race. Mike Swartzen in 12th is currently 11 laps down, so I don't know if Mike's going to be able to catch him or not. He should get up to 11th and pass Wesley Burke, who's not currently on the track. But Mike Swartzen, welcome to GLR. Heck of a first race.
Yeah, up 2 spots on the night so far, and I think he's going to keep it because we got a couple of cars out of this race. So Swartzen having a great opening race, as they say. He's got the leader, it looks like, closing down on the back. Oh, no, that's Chad Gross, the 3rd place position car. He's going to let that car go. Chad Gross fighting to get back up there and get behind Jeremy Gardner. But Swartzen did the right thing there, let him go. We seen Swartzen sideways in the middle of the track earlier. That time it didn't happen, almost in the same spot, but doing a solid job right now at the moment in that Corvette.
Well, Chad Gross, his teammate, Derek Folk, your leader, has just put Jamie Lipke a lap down. So now there's 4 cars on the lead lap here with 17 and change to go. Jamie Lipke there in 5th, first car a lap down. Still having a good run. Just can't keep up with the speed of Folk, Gardner, and Gross.
No, those guys are blistering fast. I just took a peek here at Derek Folk gap between Jeremy Gardner and Folk, and it has closed down a little bit since the last time we were focused on the top 2. that gap is closed down to 4.5 seconds, but Gardner is making time, and he does have the time to do it with over 15 minutes to go. We'll have to wait and see, but we're back for this battle right now, looking at Derek Folk. Currently looking at Derek Folk going around the lap car of Damian Castro. Politely lets him by.
Well, Castro caught the grass. He was kind of racing him a little bit, but he caught the grass in the infield section and couldn't do anything there, and Folk gets right around him.
Well, Folk is probably watching that gap shrink a little bit now. It's down to almost 4 seconds flat. Well, 4.3. Gardner is slowly running him down, and Folk doesn't need to see any more traffic like that. He's got pretty much an open track. His next contender for a lap traffic will be Matt Lass. He's about 6.5 seconds ahead of him, but he's got to hope that Gardner has the struggles getting through this traffic that he had. Otherwise, Gardner will continue reeling him in.
Well, Gardner will beat himself up over the pit road stuff, but you got to be happy with how you finish. You know, just other than that, he took care of it. He's going to be mad he let one slip away, maybe, but other than that, you know, again, he's going to expand this championship lead. And if it wasn't sealed before tonight, it's definitely going to be sealed now.
Yeah, it definitely looks that way. We're watching him approach some more lap traffic there. Damian Castro is going to get by on the inside. You're right. Almost had a struggle getting by him, so that's going to cost Gardner some time. So much for trying to run down the leader if you got to fight the same lap traffic that the leader had to fight. So we watch him round the hairpin on the NASCAR 3 or 2 down the backstretch. Seeing if he can find anything and everything to get another win. Jeremy Gardner's only got 1 win on the season, surprisingly enough. Now, he says he's an oval driver, and he sits there, I don't know how I'm at the top of the points. And I can tell you why he's at the top of the points, because he's consistently on the podium. And, you know, eventually if you're consistently on the podium, you are going to get race wins. It's just, it seems like every race, just something happens where you just can't pull that final position and get the win. So he's gonna need Derek Folk to really trip up here.
Well, if things stay how they are and Gardner finishes second and Justice finishes fourth, he's going to open up another 80 points gap on Tyler Justice, on a gap that's already over 500 points. So that's going to basically mean that Tyler Justice needs to win out and Jeremy Gardner needs to, you know, sleep through the races. Yeah,
well, if tonight holds the way it is, I think Jeremy's a lock. It's done because of the 2 drop weeks. Jeremy Gardner, with all the consistent finishes, he really does, other than last week, really doesn't have any races he has to worry about dropping. As a matter of fact, he can sit back on the couch and watch these races right here on V-Speed with us and take home this championship after tonight, I believe.
Beautiful camera views here as we're watching Derek Folk work on the 198 of Matt Lass. Matt Lass currently 1 lap down. This would put him 2. Still a good run for Matt Lass, though, in 8th place. He's going to get all the way to the apron and remain clear. Oh, he's going to pit road.
Yeah, I don't know why he's on pit road. Maybe didn't put enough fuel in the car or just wants some tires, but maybe going to surrender another position there to Castro by going to pit lane. So Castro is coming and will get this position as long as Castro doesn't head to pit lane. Yeah, Castro stays out on the track, so he's going to lose another position there, it looks like, for Matt Lass.
Watching Derek Folk work his way up the hill around turn 6, towards the hairpin. Just trying to maintain that lead for the next 12.5 minutes. Gardner has closed it down to about 3 seconds or so, but I just don't know if there's going to be enough time for Jeremy Gardner to make that move.
Yeah, Gardner made up over a full second over the past lap, but I think it must have been a mistake by Derek Folk. That was a huge gap to make up like that. You can see Folk now is stretching that back out up after whatever incident we had. We didn't catch it, but must have had, whether he was fighting with a lap car or maybe got off the track a little bit, but he got woed up there, but he is starting to stretch that lead back out now. Just crosses the start-finish line there. Gardner is crossing the start-finish line as I speak. Headed down into 2 here. No pressure right now. Clear of lap traffic for quite a ways. Oz Escalou is about 20 seconds ahead of our leader. So going to have some clear sailing for a few laps for our 2 leaders.
Yep, Gardner's deficit still hanging out around 3 seconds here. The final 12 minutes. I just don't know if he's got anything for Derek Folk right now.
Well, while we got a moment here, while the action is a little bit taken back here on the racetrack, let's talk about another one of our sponsors, Save 22. Save 22 is a 501c3 organization dedicated to preventing suicide among veterans, active duty personnel, and first responders. Our unwavering mission extends to 4 critical pillars: shield, assist, volunteer, educate. Save 22. Well, we're currently looking at the second place driver, Jeremy Gardner, right now. I'm just seeing if he made up any time. Not really. That gap is about the same the last time we looked, so stabilized there. I almost feel like Folk is just trying to maintain that gap.
Yeah, this is the best action on track still. The battle for the win. Derek Folk by 3.2 seconds. How much does Jeremy Gardner have left, and does he have enough time? We know Derek Folk took rubber on that stop, so he probably has a significant advantage here in the last couple of laps. I haven't seen Folk slide his stuff too bad, so I think he has certainly got the advantage here in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, doesn't have the pressure that he had in the first half of the race, so able to drive that Mustang through the hairpin. We watched him several times in the first half of the race, just getting the rear end sideways on that car. But with Gardner 3.5 seconds back, doesn't really have the pressure right now. Just needs to keep calm, cool, and collected, and try to avoid any lap cars that might present a hazard for this driver. But right now, lap traffic is so far ahead, he might not see another lap car before this race is over.
And Derek Folks got Oz Exelu 17 seconds ahead, a lap down, only putting about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds a lap on him. So don't think he's going to catch him here. So it's smooth sailing for the 410.
Yeah, as we close down into the final 10 minutes here, watching these guys go through 3 and 4, then down through 5. Kind of a new way to hit this corner. You head it really fast. I'm used to being so hard on the brakes here. And you go down a couple of gears, headed into the hairpin, and then hard on the brakes. This kind of reminds me of Coda in a way, the way this turn is set up. Kind of want to late apex it so you get a lot of speed going down the backstretch here. And that's what Derek Folk is doing. Solidly getting those rear tires planted that he wasn't doing the first half of the race. He's actually opened up 2 tenths now on Gardner, heading into the first chicane here.
Elsewhere on track, Matt Lass is just past Damian Castro for 8th. I don't know if Castro had an issue. Castro did have an off track and slowed down, so Matt Lass continuing to make his way up, and that's going to reflect in the point standings here in about 10 minutes. Yeah,
Matt Lass. So he also had the car that's on the lead lap. That was Tyler Justice. Might have split those two up, and that's why Matt Lass fell back as far as he did. Or I guess Tyler Justice is coming up on him. Yeah, that's Tyler Justice. So I think Tyler might have split Damian Castro and Matt Lass up. And Tyler Justice being solid, still on the lead lap, running in that 4th position. But he is quite a ways back from our leader, but it's still a solid night. Still maybe only 1/3 of a lap behind our leader, so that's a lot, saying he's the last car on the lead lap.
Yeah, with the time some of these guys put down, you got to just feel good about being on the lead lap. For me, that's a win. So, while I know these guys are very competitive, but you got to take what you get. And Checking in on Chad Groves, currently 18 seconds ahead of Tyler Justice, who we were just looking at. Still 14 seconds behind Jeremy Gardner, as Gardner now slipping to almost 4 seconds behind Derek Folk here in the waning minutes of this race.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Derek Folk's teammate of Chad Gross too much tonight. He was up in that battle for the lead early in this race. Just fell back from his teammate there. Hasn't been able to get that time back on the track, but running a solid third place respectively. We might be talking to him if he's a podium finisher here tonight, watching the sparks fly off that Mustang. Going into the final chicane here, got that Mustang all hooked up. I think we're back on our, no, we're back on Chad Gross. Going into one.
Chad Gross taking turn one at over 90 miles an hour. What a fast turn. Still making his way through, making that right turn, headed down towards 5. Gonna charge it up the hill. Yeah, you talked about it. This used to be so slow, but now you got to take the top of that hill at a lot of speed, and it can be dangerous if you get your car upset at you.
While this we were watching Chad Gross here, Gardner is up on time now. So Gardner only about 2.5 seconds, a little over 2.5 seconds behind our leader. So he has made up time again. I almost feel like Folk made an error somewhere that we didn't catch and allowed Gardner to run it back, because that's another second he gained just what appears in one lap. It's just, I don't think he's doing that on speed, so Folk might be letting this hour-long race maybe get in his head and making some mistakes out there, allowing Gardner to close back in.
Gardner works his way through turn 3 right here. Looking pretty good. He's got Derek Folk out the front window. It's just a question of time now as we enter the last 5 minutes of this race. Down to 2.25. Can Jeremy Gardner pull this off?
Yeah, he'd like to get that second win of the season. You know, he's wanting to get up there and maybe sniff a little bit of that toe up there on that other Mustang. Isn't quite close enough yet, but he's really going to need to hustle that or hope Derek Folk gets upset on a curb or something like that to get up there. But the time is winding down, only about 3 or 4, maybe 5 laps at best left in this race. And with lap times at a $1:20, that isn't a lot of time to get this done.
Looking at Folk working his way down the last 2 turns, heading across the start-finish line for the 42nd time tonight. Only a few laps to go. 4 minutes. That's about 3 laps. Maybe a 4th on the little spare change of time. Working his way down towards turn 3 in the infield section. Just trying to keep it smooth. He is catching Mike Swartzen. We'll have to see if Swartzen gets out of the way or if it becomes a problem, as we're looking out of Derek Folk's view at the back of Mike Swartzen's Chevrolet Corvette.
Yeah, Swartzen being his first race out there, seeing those flashing lights of that Mustang, was able to get out of the way, get hard on the brakes, almost comes to a full stop in the hairpin there. Gardner didn't really make up a bunch of time there. Gardner was able to get Swartzen clear as well, or not quite, no, so I take that back. So Gardner needs to clear Swartzen as well, and we're going to have about 3 minutes to go when he crosses the line here.
Gardner still got Swartzen out the window, and to contend with him, we'll have to see if it becomes an issue on that last chicane on the front stretch, as Derek Folk's working his way down there now, but he's got Swartzen and Gardner in tow. Let's see what happens with Swartzen. He's going to slow, but I think, and he's going to run it. No, he's going to hold the line. Gardner wants through, and Gardner wants through badly. He's going to do it, going down into 1.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for our second place driver there. He caught Swartzen in a bad spot on that last chicane, and just he lost a little bit of time to our leader there, but that wasn't a big loss. But it looks like, oh, Gardner gets off. Swartzen goes around, gets that Corvette sideways. We're going to go back and see what happened. But after all the stress that Swartzen was dealing with here, with the 2 leaders going by, you see Swartzen going down into 3 here. maybe just a little oomph. We seen him spin out this Corvette and caught the retaining wall on the outside there. Pulled the whole back end off that car. I'm surprised he still got a spoiler.
Well, that's going to flag him on points, and that's pretty... Looked like there was considerable damage in the replay, but I don't see it on his car now, so not sure what happened there. Oz Exelu having trouble as well, back in 7th place. He went around in the hairpin, but I don't think he hit anything, so no worse for the wear.
Yeah,
As
right.
We're back on our lead, Derek Folk, 2.5 seconds. Gardner had to make up the 3 or 4 tenths that he lost getting around Swartzen, and that's going to set him back as we're only, we have a minute and a half left of this race.
Yep, next time by will be the white flag for our leader. Derek Folk just needs to hold on to it. You know, after the pit stops, able to beat Jeremy Gardner on pit strategy, come out ahead. Jeremy Gardner on a very slow pit stop. Really struggled with that Mustang on pit, but Gardner has closed up that gap to about 1.5 seconds through all that. But if Derek Folk can hold on to this thing, he'll pick himself up another win on the season. Gardner looking to get 2 wins on the season and wrap up this championship with at least 2 wins. The Oval driver coming for road course racing right now.
Well, Gardner's closed it to 1.7 seconds, but he locked it up really badly headed into turn 7, the switchback there, and so now he's cooked the tires, but he's got the lead down to under 2 seconds. As the leader is going to come down to the white flag, there's going to be 1 lap to go.
Watching Gardner trying to sniff a little bit of toe with the leader up in front there, Derek Folk. As I'd mentioned, did it on pit lane. A slow stop by Gardner and a quick stop by Folk allowed Folk to get up around 6.5 seconds after pit stops. Gardner has, Gardner sideways. Gardner he's sideways again in the wall. So Gardner trying to hustle to get up to Derek Folk, makes a mistake, slams that Mustang against the wall twice.
Well, Derek Folk now free and clear by 2.5 seconds over Jeremy Gardner. Jeremy Gardner still going a little slow. He keeps losing more time as Derek Folk's going to come into turn 7 for the final time, heading into NASCAR 1 and 2. I think this race is all but decided. It's up to Derek Folk to get through the last half a lap unscathed.
Yeah, Derek Folk's probably looking at that relative on his screen right now, seeing Jeremy Gardner fall back. He knows he's got the win as long as he doesn't make any mistakes. As long as he put all the fuel he needed to into this car. Headed through the first chicane here, headed towards NASCAR 3 and 4, the final chicane. All things considered, if he holds on to it, he will win for the 2nd time this season.
Jeremy Gardner starting to close a little bit, but it won't be enough. It's going to be Derek Folk coming around to take the checkered flag for the 3rd time this season at the Charlotte Roval.
Gardner coming home in 2nd. Battled that Mustang, trying very hard to catch up to our race winner, Derek Folk. Jeremy Gardner, you know, he's got all those podiums, but just hasn't been able to repeat wins. Got 1 win on the season, but not taking away from anything from Derek Folk. What a heck of a race. He outsmarted Jeremy Gardner, what I consider right now our series champion. And we're going to talk to both these guys after our commercial break, and we'll go with our unofficial results and our podium finishers.
thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you, day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
We are back live at Charlotte Motor Speedway with a heck of a finish. We had Derek Folk take his second win of the season here tonight. Watched him celebrate. Jeremy Gardner will finish in second, but I believe Jeremy Gardner just locked up the championship here tonight with that finish. Chad Gross will finish third, and that completes our podium finishers. Tyler Justice, another strong performance out there in fourth. Jimmy Lipke finishes fifth, even though she was a lap down. Solid run by her. Jason Christ will finish in the sixth position. Oz Exelu, with a couple of tough breaks here tonight, finishes where he started in that seventh position. Matt Lass, another driver that had some struggles out here tonight, spent a lot of time racing Damian Castro. They both finished 8th and 9th, respectively. Bobby Germain, another guy I've raced with quite considerably in previous seasons on the road, had a tough night here. He'll finish in 10th. Mike Swartzen, our Warrior Spotlight and Sim Rig recipient winner, finishes 11th, up 3 spots on the night. So congrats there, Mike Swartzen. Wesley Burke will finish 12th after a tough night. James Goshen, 13th. And Logan Threlkeld will end our 14-car field for tonight. Well, Corey, as I understand it, you might have our race winner in the booth with you.
I think you can. I'm standing here in victory lane here with Derek Folk, our winner. Derek, it doesn't matter how fast you are on the track, well, which you are, but this race was won on pit road tonight. How did you do it?
Yeah, it was a good race out there. It was definitely quite chilly. It's a track that is very punishing on those tires. So yeah, I took the gamble to stay out, and I only took a front right in that race to try to just eliminate the long pit stop, and it definitely paid off. It gave me a nice little lead where I could kind of get comfy on those extremely worn tires. Was definitely starting to lose a little bit of grip toward the end, and Jeremy was definitely making up some ground on me, but was glad to able to hold it off and bring it home.
Well, you were 6 seconds faster on pit road, and that was certainly the difference here tonight. Who do you have to thank for getting you here?
Yeah, absolutely. We'd like to thank Lincoln Tech, Save 22, MK Fire Design, Zat Graphics, Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, and Zoot Lord Racing.
All right, that's your winner, Derek Folk. And I got back to Ken, who's with our second place finisher, Jeremy Gardner.
So, Jeremy Gardner, well, you didn't win the race tonight. You did get second, but I think you locked up your championship here tonight.
Well, damn, Ken, I didn't need that reminder a second tonight. Man, that's a heartbreaker. I drove my ass off tonight. I ain't gonna lie. I feel like a 12-year-old at a damn midnight release for Call of Duty right now. So, man, he ran a hell of a race. That was a hell of a race right there. Whew.
Yeah, you were spanking the wall there at the end, and you definitely had some fast lap times. But let's talk about your entire season, being that this is probably your championship race. I'm pretty sure it is. For an oval driver, what did you do to get here?
I don't know. I just joined this season to be with my teammates. Kind of learn these cars, and I don't know. I've kind of grown a love for them. So Appreciate Tim for putting the series on, man. I have a blast in these things. Honestly, I love this more than anything I race right now at this point. So they're fun. They're so fun, dude. Anybody that's out there that runs nothing but Oval, y'all need to switch over to GT3. This shit's fun.
Yeah, and you're showing why that is. You're doing a great job out there tonight. Well, who do you have to thank for getting you this finish? And yeah, just who do you have to thank for the season overall?
Pat and Jamie, GLR. My guy Timothy with the man bun over the series. I appreciate everything he does for the series. Jamperton Promotions. My guy's Premier Racing Setups, V Speed, MK Fire Design, ZAT Graphics, and Alexander PCs.
All right. Well, thank you, Jeremy Gardner, and look forward to seeing you next week. You can take a breather. You got this locked up.
Yes, sir.
All right. That was Jeremy Gardner. I guess,
right.
Corey, you've got our third place finisher.
I do. I'm sitting here with third place finisher Chad Gross. Chad, you were right up there. Right up until the pit stop, it was you and your teammate. What was the strategy between the teammates, and then where did you go from there?
I knew those guys in front of me in P1 and P2 were ultimately faster than me tonight. Charlotte Roval's not my favorite track in the racing calendar. So my goal tonight was to basically stick on their tail as much as possible and hold on for dear life. Unfortunately, I lost them pretty quick in the race and was in no man's land before I knew it, and just hung out running hot laps for about an hour myself.
Well, either way, you come home with plenty of points, a third place finish. You maintained tonight. Who do you have to thank for getting you here?
Oh, it was a great race. Again, I want to thank my girlfriend, Carly. We got the Christmas decorations done last weekend, so I had some more free time this weekend to come out here and do some racing with the boys. I also want to give thanks to you guys for putting on a wonderful broadcast here. Love to come back and watch these for some good entertainment over the weekend. And obviously, thank iRacing, thank MK Fire Design, Sim Motion, and Zach Graphics.
All right, that's Chad Gross, your third place finisher. Ken, as we wrap up, what are your final thoughts as we head into the last few races of the season?
Yeah, last few races of the season. Well, we're going into Thanksgiving week, so we're going to take next week off, and we'll take a look at the schedule here, see where we're at in 2 weeks. So we are going to be at Red Bull. That's a very popular track, a very fun track. You're going to see a lot of action, I believe, at Red Bull, and then we'll have 2 hours of Sebring, which ought to be really entertaining. So that'll be our last endurance race of the season before we head to the season finale in mid-December for Monza.
Yeah, I can't wait. The Sebring one's going to be great. Hopefully we, being a North American track, maybe we get some additional participation from some people that maybe don't run this place full time. But either way, a champion decided or not, this is going to produce great racing for the rest of the year.
Absolutely. Well, like always, we got to thank our sponsors who brought this race to you here tonight. MK Fire Design. Of course, they're very happy. We're very happy to have them on board here with Goat Locker. Be sure and check them out. Also, Zach Graphics. We can put your design on almost anything. And Save 22, fighting first responder and veteran suicide. I'm Ken Huber, along with Corey Smith, Tim Jones on production, Dougie Beards on cameras. I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. Have a safe and wonderful weekend, and enjoy that holiday coming up here, Thanksgiving, in another half of a week, and we'll see you here in 2 weeks. Good night, everyone.